It seems that there may be a problem with the onboard systems on the AC40s. Most teams have experienced uncontrolled nose dives. The latest was the American Magic and the French Challenge teams. These are top-level crews. Remember, these boats are to be sailed competitively by women's and youth teams. Basically both Corinthian foiling teams. Now let's look at Sailing Illustrated's coverage of the Orient Express uncontrolled nose dive.
Oh gosh, I hope everybody was holding on.
You know, these boats, these are the AC40s with automatic flight control, but there must be some kind of a manual override. There must be something else going on, because it doesn't look like the automatic is working all the time for most, if not all, the teams.
I think they shouldn't have automatic flying anyway.
Well, I think they ought to have sailors sailing the boats. I think most of the Fosi on here agree. You want to see that video one more time?
Not really.
You know? One more time.
Okay.
Let me go back up. We'll show it one more time.
This is your weekly Global Sailing Highlights World on Water show. September 8th, 2023. The first 2 days of the 33rd Maxi Yacht, Rolex Cup, have presented the fleet with a mix of conditions, both sublime and challenging. For the elite crews, the early competition has drawn heavily upon their skill, determination and prowess. For the spectator, the exhibition by some of the sailing world's largest and most powerful yachts has been compelling and inspiring.
Showcasing superlative design, talent, organization and location. The Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup. The 33rd edition of this spectacular event got off to an exceptional start in Porto-Cervo. Amid perfect sailing conditions, as an impressive and diverse fleet took to the turquoise waters of Sardinia's Costa Smeralda for a regatta to savour. Some of the finest yachts in the world are in action across 6 classes, reflecting the depth and range of Maxi Yacht design. Elegance, tradition, power and grace, performance, and for the first time, Maxi multi-hulls. Club Costa Smeralda opened the week-long regatta with 2 exemplary days that featured windward leeward courses, as well as coastal racing through the stunning scenery of the Maddalena archipelago. Among those setting the early pace, Svea, Leopard 3, Proteus, and the all-new Super Maxi Y3K. Join us again for more updates as this prestigious regatta continues to unfold.
After conceding 2 race wins to Real Team Sailing on day 1, Jan Gichard and the young crew on Spindrift, headed up by tactician Jan Joven, bounced back with full force on day 2, winning 3 out of a possible 4 races sailed. In each, the fleet was compact on the race course, with the top 4 boats all coming into the mark roundings within seconds of each other. We had some battles with Spindrift, explained Real Team Sailing's tactician Sebastian Colonel. I think we can be a little bit faster upwind.
Yeah, here day 2 of the TF35 event here in Macesine was a great day of sailing, like between 12 and 15 knots, 4 races, full on. We had a great battle today with We enjoyed a lot the day. The crew is very satisfied how we sail. We have few things to improve, to get better a little bit. Yeah, today we think we can be a little bit faster upwind. We've seen a few things from the others like spindrift and comptoir immobilier. It seems a little bit faster upwind, so it's something we work on already the last 2 months. It looks like they are a little bit more stable in trim. We're going to work on that for tomorrow.
"35 boats is a record lineup for what has become an unmissable event, which has continued to go from strength to strength since its creation. Now sold out, the Defi Azimuth Lorient agglomeration is the guarantee of an epic IMOCA festival in Lorient, Brittany, from 19 to the 24th of September 2023. With less than 3 weeks until the challenge commences, we get the lowdown on what we can expect and the organization.
Okay, let's go! Y aller doucement.
In the ILCA6 Gold Fleet. Although only 10 races were completed, it was all down to the last race. Ben Elvin had unfortunately had a shocker in race 8, with a 40th and a 14th in the final race, so was out of contention. A 20th in race 7 for Chloe Elvin had ruled her out. So it was all down to the last race. Thomas Gritt had to beat John Emmett by 5 places to take the title. It was not to be, only managing 3 places. It finished John Emmett first, Thomas Gritt second and Chloe Elvin third.
So the ILCA6 was another incredibly close event. In fact, personally, I didn't realise quite how close it was. Can you introduce yourself and tell us also, right at the front of the sevens as well?
Yeah. With we got Seb was on the team with me. He came second in sevens for this event, and we had a good team for sure.
And I mean, he's literally just come back from the Hague Gold Fleet Racer, and that's just amazing. So it's really tight series. You're obviously bang on the money. Tell us a little bit how it went down.
So coming into today, I was a point behind first. Then after the second race, I was still behind with a new person, which is you, 4 points behind. So I knew I needed to get ahead of you, get some boats in between us. Couldn't quite cut it though. Got 3 boats in between, but it wasn't enough. So you came out a point ahead.
I know, I'm feeling very, very blessed because I had no idea what was going on. I was like, why am I being team raced? And can you tell us what your plans are for the future? Because you're obviously a very good team racer, obviously a very good ILCA6 sailor, and we're really pleased to see you've got the BST top on now.
Yeah, so my plans are to continue sailing for British sailing team, hopefully, in the laser, eventually do an Olympic campaign once it gets there, and maybe continue with some team racing events as well, maybe Wilson Trophy, big events like that.
I used to love it. I had the university's contract doing a lot of the coaching, crikey, a decade ago, and I thought it was just so much fun. And it's a shame it's not in the Olympics. But without getting too political, when do you think you'll look at doing ILCA7?
Once I weigh enough, pretty much. At the moment, I'm just trying to bulk up, get the weight. There's no point in getting in early when I can't hike it down in the wind. So once I get the weight.
Wise words. Maybe the squat rack will be your best friend. And what will next year look like then, do you think?
Trying to do most of the events on the circuit, so I can't do the youth ones anymore. But I'll do some of the senior ones. There's a few senior ones in the 6. Maybe if I'm up for it, I'll do a few in the 7 as well.
Cool. Well, wishing you all the best and just incredibly well sailed.
The South Pacific Superyacht Regatta will move from the Bay of Islands to Auckland next year. When the New Zealand Millennium Cup is raced from the 26th of February 2024, it will be with Auckland, the city of sails, as its backdrop. The regatta is known for fun, exciting racing with a Kiwi flavour all of its own. Although the 44 Cup Cows Championships finished a few weeks ago, the regatta video coverage, which was conducted by the video producers, Icarus Sports, has this week released a video of the best shots of the action. We thought that you would like to see this fantastic video.
The red sun rose this morning, dark skies pronounce your warning. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, 'cause we are the outlaws. Your breath still, you jump the fire. We'll just sit and wait till you see me fly. me for it. See me fly. The way I put my finger on it. See me fly. You got it. Then try to tell me you got the wrong guy. See me fly. You know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly. The way I put my finger on it. See me fly. You got it. Then try to tell me you got the wrong guy.
2, 1, shoot down!
Turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the balls in the place. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher under pressure, now we blessed. See, I was so good for the glow. It's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Yeah. It's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
With only 2 races sailed due to light winds on the final day of the TF35 Maxi Cup 1, real team sailing, skippered by Jerome Clerk, who have clinched the victory at every event of the 2023 season, claim the annual TF35 trophy with 1 event remaining. Here we have the action from days 3 and 4.
Seem like the barging down, got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch, might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end we gon' make the child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2 we don't need no pause.
On essaie de naviguer aussi un petit peu différemment au pré. C'était vraiment le but, c'était d'augmenter un peu notre vitesse et nos empannages. On avait 2 objectifs aujourd'hui, donc ouais, on est content, ça fait une bonne journée du coup. C'est des choses qu'on a beaucoup travaillé en début d'année. Du coup, on a les automatismes qui arrivent à revenir et c'est assez chouette de pouvoir les poser là avec un peu plus de vent. Et, bah ouais, quand tu fais une jolie manœuvre sous le vent, bah, tu te dis que c'est chouette parce que ça accélère vite, quoi.
On a effectivement une bonne régularité en 3e place, mais on aimerait bien être plus dans les 2e et les premiers. Là, on a de la peine à coller à Spindrift Ferry Team. Il nous manque un petit peu de vitesse, un petit peu de tactique. Aujourd'hui encore, je trouve que c'est très serré, quoi. C'est assez difficile.
C'était vraiment une belle semaine de navigation ici à Malchesine sur le lac de Garde. On a eu des conditions parfaites. C'était une belle bataille avec Real Team du jour 1, de la première manche jusqu'à la dernière. C'était à celui qui gagnait la dernière manche qui était premier au général, donc bravo à eux. Ça a été une belle bataille.
Voilà, le dernier jour du Grand Prix de Malchesine, encore 2 manches aujourd'hui, dans des super conditions. On s'est bagarré jusqu'au bout, jusqu'à la dernière manche avec Spindrift. C'était un peu le chat et la souris, à toi, à moi. Et bah, là, on a réussi à faire la différence sur la dernière manche grâce à vraiment un super état d'esprit, un bel esprit d'équipe de Real Team.
As we covered earlier in this week's World on Water, and after numerous incidents, Emirates Team New Zealand this week released a video of Nathan Outridge explaining the onboard systems of the boat, including the autopilot. We hope this explains a little on what is happening on board these boats, and how they hope that going forward, these incidents will not occur again.
But to make it simple and easy as possible to sail for the Youth America's Cup and Women's America's Cup, the systems on board have been designed so that it's actually quite an easy boat to sail despite how complex it is. One of the things that makes the boat so easy to sail is the autopilot. So there's a simple button here on the left-hand side which you can just switch the boat into autopilot mode, and then effectively for flying the boat you've got 2 real inputs. You can either adjust the height at which the boat sails or how much foil you have in the water with a simple plus and minus, and then there's the trim, so you can change the attitude of the boat, more bow down, more bow up. And so You know, for someone like myself who has a lot of foiling experience but never sailed a boat like this, it's been pretty easy through the commissioning just with the way that the autopilot software works. So then the other panel of buttons here is all to do with the boards up and down system. So you've got a board up button and a board down button. You can also do a plus and minus on the cant system. So effectively from this seat here, you can do all the functions you need for flying the boat. So the AC40 start with 4 people. You've got 2 people on each side. As you can see, I'm in a bucket seat here and we've got another one at the back. I'm almost sitting on the floor, so you're incredibly low and out of the wind, and it's the same configuration on the other side. And then the aero trimmer sits behind you and they've got controls for the mainsail and the jib at the back of the boat. So one of the cool things about this is you can choose if you want to trim the mainsail or the jib, because every time you tack and jibe, you know, the way the boat's been designed, that the mainsail trimmer will be sitting on the windward side and the jib trimmer will probably be sitting to leeward because they have a much better view of the jib. So a simple button press will switch you from main functions to jib functions. And then you've got a bunch of push buttons. So you've got Cunningham control, the clew position, so you've got the card that slides on the clew, so you're basically creating more depth in the sail or making the sail flatter. When you tack and jibe, obviously the mast needs to rotate, so a button actually lights up, it turns purple, and you push that button and it rotates the mast. So there's a lot of software that's been developed in the background to stop you basically doing any damage to these boats. So, you know, if you're overpowered, you can just hold your finger on the Cunningham, you pump it super hard, it hits a pressure relief, the light's up and says you're at max load, and you can take your finger off the button. So effectively you can just focus on how much power you want upstairs on the sails and what kind of heel you want. And so you got one hand on a joystick doing your heel control, and then your other fingers are doing, you know, your standard Cunninghams and outhaul setups.